Hey, what's going on, my friend? It's Jeff Newpert. And in today's video, we are going to discuss the parachute muscle. We'll put parachute in quotes here that can actually make your kettlebell lifting easier. So let's dive in. Did you know, first of all, that there actually is a parachute shaped muscle inside of you that, when trained properly, makes your kettlebell lifting easier? And furthermore, when this muscle is working correctly, it does some pretty crazy things like, and we'll throw this up here on the checklist, okay, so you can see this. It improves your blood flow or your circulation. It decreases your stress levels by stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system. It actually has the ability to protect your lower back. It increases your pelvic floor function. Wow, say that fast several times. Pelvic floor function, okay? It potentially decreases your injury risk, especially to your lower back or your hips. Okay, and speaking of hips, it actually has the ability to decrease your hip tightness, and it increases your hip mobility. And that's just to name a few of the things, all of which do three major things for your kettlebell training. Number one, it makes your overhead work feel more stable and therefore stronger. Number two, it makes your kettlebell ballistics feel more explosive. And number three, it makes your squats feel easier. And in fact, sometimes it immediately improves their depth and their stability. Now, what's the name of this parachute muscle? Well, it's your diaphragm, okay? And we'll throw a picture of it up here on the screen here so you can see what it looks like in relationship to the rest of your body, okay? Now, the diaphragm, it separates your lungs from your abdominal cavity. And like I said before, it resembles a parachute in its shape, okay? It also forms the lid on the canister, right, air quotes, called your inner unit, which is a group of muscles that stabilize your spine and your pelvis and protect your lower back so you don't hurt it swinging, snatching, cleaning, pressing, or squatting your kettlebells, which I think we can both agree it's pretty important, right? We don't want to do that. Okay, so we'll throw an image up here of what that looks like. Here's a graphical representation of your inner unit. Okay, you can see the diaphragm is right there on top. And if you can picture a Coke can, right, it almost forms like a cylinder or a Coke can. All right, so now here's what's also interesting about the diaphragm, and that's it's the primary muscle responsible for respiration or breathing, right? We think we can both agree that that's really important. Now, here's what's even crazier. There's a famed Swiss physician named Dr. Carl Lewitt, and he discovered that if your breathing patterns were faulty, so was every other movement or movement pattern. All right. Let me say that again because it's really important. And a lot of people will miss it, right? He said, Dr. Lewitt said, if your breathing patterns are off, then the rest of your movements are faulty. In other words, you can't move the way you're supposed to, the way you were designed to, and even the way you want to. Okay. So you pick up movement compensation patterns or bad movements, which can later lead to injuries. So what kind of injuries? Well, we're talking about chronic, like chronic IT band tightness, or acute injuries, right? The ability to, or the loss of the ability, I should say, to decelerate internal rotation when you're running down a field playing soccer and you blow out your ACL. Okay, those are the kind of injuries we're talking about. Now, if those aren't bad enough, there's more. But wait, folks, there's more, as the famous Ron Popeil used to say. If your breathing patterns are faulty, you literally will never be as strong as you could be or want to be, and you're actually leaving the gains, right? Like we talked about here, gains with a Z on the proverbial table. Well, honestly, I'm not sure if that's worse than blowing out your knee or not. Both of them are really bad. Okay. So I've had a knee injury and I've lost strength and regained it. I can tell you they're both pretty bad psychologically and physiologically. Okay. So if you've watched some of my earlier videos on this subject, you know that you can start reestablishing normal breathing patterns simply by learning how to breathe diaphragmatically and then just routinely practicing that, right? Routinely practicing diaphragmatic breathing, okay? In fact, diaphragmatic breathing, and this is what most people don't actually know, forms the foundation of your core stability and therefore your core strength and your core function. So if you're not currently routinely practicing diaphragmatic breathing, then start doing it, okay? Right? You'll be doing yourself a big favor. And you should see a mild strength increase just from doing that. Okay, but big but here, okay? But with one T, not two. Okay, that's not all there is to it. Recent research within the last decade or so has uncovered that the function of your diaphragm is actually controlled by a whole nother area of your body, which means your breathing patterns, normal or faulty, are dependent upon this other area of your body, and more importantly, its function. Okay, now here's where this gets interesting. Okay, I call this area the hidden core, right? And the research says the following about the role of your hidden core on human performance and function. Not your core on other people's performance and function, on your own performance and function. Okay. So there are 5 things that the research demonstrates about the hidden core on your performance and function. Number one, The hidden core is responsible for creating and maintaining the foundation of your balance, posture, and coordination. Number two, hidden core dysfunction actually decreases respiratory function or your ability to breathe fully and correctly. Number three, hidden core dysfunction decreases diaphragm function and therefore facilitates or creates inter-unit dysfunction. Okay. Number four, hidden core dysfunction causes altered balance or even balance loss. And number five, correction of the hidden core dysfunction has been shown to decrease certain types of lower back pain. Right? I think those are pretty good points that the research demonstrates for training the hidden core. Okay. Speaking of hidden core, I cover how you should train your hidden core and what it is inside my new program called Systematic Core Training for Kettlebells. There are actually 3 different movements you need to use in order to restore proper function of your hidden core so that you can ensure your diaphragm, that parachute muscle, is working correctly. Now, based on my empirical observations working with people from all over the world over the last 14 or so years, hidden core training almost always yields immediate strength increases and power outputs in your kettlebell training. Let me say that again because it's super important, okay? Hidden core training almost always yields immediate strength increases and power outputs in your kettlebell training. Now, obviously, I can't say that it does this 100% of the time because, right, I haven't tested this on every single person in the world, okay? So look, if you want to maximize your results from kettlebell training, in other words, if you want stronger presses, stronger squats, easier get-ups, right? If you want more explosive swings, snatches, cleans, jerks, push presses, and you want a leaner, more muscular body as a result of doing so, then you have to make sure you have a strong, functional, fully operational diaphragm. And in order to do that, you need to have a fully functional hidden core. Now, I'm going to show you how to do both of those and more inside my program, Systematic Core Training for Kettlebells. I'll leave a link in the description below for you to grab your copy if you're tired of leaving those easy gains on the proverbial table. Okay, so hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, share it with a friend, leave me a comment in the comment section below. All right, until next time, my friend, stay strong.